Hi guys! Today we're making these cute miniature candles that actually work. Granted, they're not too practical, but it's kinda cool to make working miniatures. So let's get started. The easiest candle to make is definitely a jar one. I'm using these porcelain cups that came with a set from eBay, but you can use whatever you have that's small and non-flammable like porcelain or glass. Then you need something for the fuse, or whatever you call it. I'm using embroidery thread that kind of splits up into little single threads. It's a tad thicker than like sewing thread, so it works a little bit better, I find. And then you need a candle. Unless you have candle wax you can actually melt, then you can just do that, but I don't, so I'm using a tea light. You also need a pair of tweezers and a pair of scissors. Take your thread and cut off a few pieces. Make them longer than you need so you have something to hold on to. Now you're gonna light your candle and let it burn for a few minutes until you have some molten candle wax. If you're a child, be sure to have your parents with you when you do stuff like this, and be careful not to burn yourself. Now you're gonna take your mini cups, gently drip a few drops of candle in there, and then hold the fuse in place in the middle while it dries. You can speed up the process by gently blowing on the surface. Once the fuse can hold itself in place, then repeat for the other one. And then again, be careful not to burn yourself. This process can be a little messy, but don't worry, you can always scrape away any excess candle wax after it's dried. When the candles have completely cooled, you can cut away any excess thread. So now you can go ahead and light it. The flame itself will be very small and it will burn out pretty quickly because it uses up all its candle pretty quickly because it's so small. So as I said in the beginning, not the most practical project, but it's pretty cool anyway. Let's make some different candles. For this you need some scrap clay to make a base. This is some clay that was a color I didn't really use and I'd gotten pretty dusty, but that doesn't matter for this. Roll the clay into a snake at the size you want your candle and use some type of blade to cut off the excess. Be sure to make one end flat, that will be the bottom. I made two different sizes of candles, but be sure not to make the thin one too thin, because then the rest of the process will be pretty hard. Now bake your bases completely and let cool. Once the bases have cooled, we're gonna make a flexible mold from them using a 2-component mold maker. This is the brand I'm using for this video. Mix equal parts of the two components until you have a solid color. Then roll it into a ball and mold it around the base, being sure you have no air pockets. Do the same for the other base and let both rest in the molds until the molds are completely set and hardened. Then remove the bases and cut away any excess mold at the top to make it a straight line if you have to. Now you're gonna make the candles the same way we did before. Pour in some molten candle wax and hold the fuse in place until it dries. Once the candle have set and become completely opaque, gently remove it from the mold. Repeat the same method for the smaller candles. Now make as many of the different candles as you want. The same goes for these candles. The flame will be small and the burning time will be short, but they're still pretty cool and hey, it's a working miniature, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed this project, though it was a little different, and let me know if there's any other working miniatures you'd like me to try to make. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me a like if you did and subscribe if you want to see more. Bye!